My mom told me not to come home for New Year's because celebration would be calmer without you. I canceled all payments and reclaimed my apartment. Now they're facing eviction. While I travel the world, look, I never thought I'd be the type to cut off my family, you know? But man, sometimes life throws you these curveballs that make you realize who really has your back. For 3 whole years, I was busting my ass working in Japan, sending money back home like clockwork, covering their rent in my apartment, and basically being their personal ATM. All while missing holidays, birthdays, and those little moments you can't get back. So when I finally scored some vacation time to fly home for New Year's, I was pumped. Like legit counting down the days on my iPhone calendar, ordering presents off Amazon Prime, the whole 9 yards, had my JanSport backpack all packed up with gifts and souvenirs. Even splurged on some top-shelf steak that cost me a small fortune just to bring a little piece of my new life to share with them. Then boom. 1 week before my flight, my phone buzzes with a text from Mom. The kind that makes your stomach drop faster than the first hill on a Six Flags roller coaster. This year's celebration will be calmer without you. Maybe postpone your visit? I swear I read that message like 20 times, thinking maybe my brain was playing tricks on me, like when you're at Walmart at 2 a.m. and start seeing things weird. But nope, there it was in black and white. My own mother basically telling me not to come home because they'd have a better time without me. After everything I'd done for them, all I could type back was, fine. But inside my head, total chaos, man. Like a Spotify playlist jumping from rage to sadness to confusion and back again. I didn't sleep that night, just sat on my balcony drinking Coke Zero and watching Tokyo light up below me, wondering how the hell family could treat family like that. By morning, I'd made up my mind. If they wanted me out of their lives, they'd get exactly what they asked for, the whole package deal. Updated. Yo, I can't even believe the support y'all are giving me right now. My phone's been blowing up with notifications. For real though, it's got me thinking. Have you ever had that moment when someone's words hit you so hard you actually felt it physically? Like that text from my mom literally made my chest hurt. Anyone else ever get a message that changed everything about how you saw someone you loved? Makes me wonder if I was blind to the signs all along. First thing I did was call my lawyer. Not gonna lie, I was shaking like I'd had way too much Red Bull, but once I started talking, it all came pouring out. How I'd been sending them half my paycheck every month, how I'd bought that apartment outright with my first big bonus, but let them live there, because family takes care of family. How I'd been covering all their bills because Dad lost his job at the factory, and Mom's Etsy shop wasn't bringing in much. My lawyer, cool dude named Mike, who rocks fans even with his suits didn't even blink, just said I got you, and started typing away on his MacBook. Within 24 hours, everything was in motion. All automatic payments, canceled. The deed to the apartment, fully reclaimed. Utilities, internet, even their Netflix and Hulu subscriptions that were somehow on my credit card, all shut down. Then I did something I never thought I'd do. I booked a ticket to Bali instead of home. Figure if I was going to be alone for New Year's, might as well be looking at some killer beaches instead of sitting in my empty apartment in Tokyo feeling sorry for myself. 3 days later, I'm chilling by the pool at this sweet resort in Kuta, sipping on a Corona with lime, when my phone starts blowing up. Dad's calling, then Mom, then my sister, one after another like dominoes. I let them all go to voicemail. Then, after another Corona for courage, I listened to the messages. Dad's voice was shaking. We got an eviction notice. Is this a mistake? Please call us back immediately. Mom was crying. What's going on with the bank accounts? None of the cards are working. My sister just sounded pissed. Whatever game you're playing, it's not funny. Mom and Dad are freaking out. I waited until sunset, when the sky was all Instagram perfect with pinks and oranges, before I called Dad back. No mistake, I told him, keeping my voice as chill as if we were discussing the weather or last night's football game. I figured if holidays are better without me, you don't need my financial support either. Seems fair, right? The silence on the other end was so long, I thought maybe the call dropped. Then I heard him breathing, heavy like after he'd mowed the lawn on those hot July days back home. But where are we supposed to go? He finally asked, his voice small. Not my problem anymore, I said, surprising myself with how calm I sounded. 3 years I've been sending money. 3 years I've missed every holiday because I was working overtime to keep y'all comfortable. And this is how you thank me? By telling me not to come home because it'll be calmer without me? Nah, I'm done. Updated. Dang, my inbox is flooded right now. Some of y'all saying I went nuclear too fast. Others high-fiving me through the screen. Real talk though, when Dad asked where they were supposed to go, I felt this tiny crack in my resolve. For just a split second, have you ever been so hurt by someone but still felt that pull of obligation? That blood is thicker than water BS we've all been fed? What would you have said in that moment? Because sometimes I replay that conversation in my head and wonder. What happened next was like watching a TikTok drama unfold in real time. My phone blew up with texts and calls from not just my immediate family but aunts, uncles, cousins, people I hadn't heard from in years suddenly had opinions about my life choices. Mom sent these long paragraph texts about how I misunderstood what she meant, that the celebration would be calmer because my little cousins wouldn't be there this year, not because they didn't want me there. Dad left voicemails about how they never meant to hurt my feelings, that of course they wanted to see me. But here's the kicker. In all those messages, not one of them said, I'm sorry. Not one acknowledgement that telling your daughter not to come home for the holidays might be, I don't know, a little bit hurtful. Instead, it was all about how I was overreacting, how I was being dramatic, how I needed to calm down and stop being so sensitive. Classic gaslighting, as my therapist would say. Oh yeah, I started therapy after all this went down. Best $60 a week I've ever spent. Meanwhile, I extended my stay in Bali, then hopped over to Thailand, then Australia. Started documenting my travels on Instagram. Not to be petty, okay, maybe a little bit to be petty, but because for the first time in forever, I was actually living for myself. The eviction process took about a month. During that time, my family scrambled to find a new place to live. Apparently, Dad had to borrow money from his brother, and Mom had to take a job at Target, something she'd always looked down on before. My sister moved in with her boyfriend, which accelerated a relationship that definitely wasn't ready for that step. Their lives were falling apart while mine was finally coming together. And yeah, sometimes at night when I was alone in some hostel or hotel room, I'd feel this twinge of guilt. These people raised me after all. We'd had good times too, camping trips in our old Coleman tent, 4th of July barbecues where Dad would wear his ridiculous Kiss the Cook apron from Walmart, movie nights with microwave popcorn and M&Ms. But then I'd remember that text, calmer without you, and how it made me feel like I was nothing. Less than nothing, a problem to be avoided, and the guilt would fade away, replaced by this certainty that I was finally doing right by myself. About 2 months into my world tour, I was sitting at this dive bar in Sydney, nursing a Foster's. Yes, they actually do drink that stuff in Australia. When I got an email from Mom. Not a text, not a call, an email, like we were business associates or something. "We found a small apartment," she wrote. "It's nothing like what we had before, but it's something. Your father's looking for work. I'm picking up extra shifts. We're managing. I hope you're happy with what you've done to this family. That." Last line, classic Mom, making me the villain in her story. But for once, I wasn't buying it. I forwarded the email to my therapist with the caption, "Can you believe this?" and ordered another beer. The next day, I posted a picture of myself on the Sydney Harbor Bridge, arms spread wide, biggest smile on my face. Caption, "Sometimes being alone is better than being with people who make you feel alone." My cousin Jenny, who'd always been more like a sister to me than my actual sister, commented, "Living your best life. So proud of you for standing up for yourself." And then, surprise, surprise, my mom commented too. "When are you coming home? We miss you." No acknowledgement of what happened, no real apology, just, "We miss you," probably because they missed my money more than anything. I blocked all of them except Jenny. It felt both terrible and liberating at the same time, like ripping off the world's biggest band-aid. Updated, just woke up to hundreds more comments. Y'all are keeping me company across time zones. Some of. You asked if I'm still traveling or if I've settled somewhere new. Truth is, I'm writing this from a cute little Airbnb in Barcelona right now, trying to decide if I want to put down roots or keep moving. The freedom is amazing, but sometimes scary too. What about you guys? Have you ever had to completely restart your life? How did you know when it was time to stop running and start building something new? Because some mornings I wake up excited, and others I wake up terrified that I've burned bridges I might need someday. It's been almost a year now since that text changed everything. A whole year of hostels and hotels, of making friends in bars and on beaches, of trying foods I can't pronounce and learning to say thank you in a dozen different languages. A year of finding myself outside the shadow of family expectations and obligations. I've settled in Barcelona for now. Found a small but sunny apartment not far from Sagrada Familia. Started working remotely for an international company that actually values my skills and pays me what I'm worth. Made friends with this group of expats who meet at this little hole-in-the-wall, tapas place every Thursday night. Got myself a tattoo, a small paper airplane on my wrist to remind me that I'm free to fly wherever I want. Jenny visits sometimes. She keeps me updated on family stuff, even though I tell her I don't want to know. Dad eventually found a job at some warehouse. Mom's still at Target, but apparently got promoted to team lead. They're living in a 2-bedroom apartment in a part of town they used to call sketchy. My sister broke up with her boyfriend and is now crashing on their couch. Last month, Jenny told me they were planning a small gathering for Dad's birthday and asked if I wanted to join on Zoom. I declined. Some wounds are still too fresh, you know, but I sent Dad a card. Just a simple, happy birthday, with no return address. Not ready to fully reconnect, but not wanting to be the person who completely abandons family either. It's complicated, this balance between self-respect and forgiveness. A couple weeks ago, I was sitting at a cafe, sipping on a café con leche and people watching, one of my favorite Barcelona pastimes, when my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. It's Mom. Got a new phone. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I need to say something. What I did was wrong. The way I treated you was wrong. I was jealous of your success, your freedom. Resented that you got out while I felt stuck. It wasn't fair to push you away, then expect you to keep supporting us. I'm truly sorry. No excuses. I stared at that text for so long the screen went dark. Then I read it again. And again. The first real apology I'd ever gotten from her. I didn't respond right away. Took the message to my next therapy session, turned it over and around looking for the manipulation, the guilt trip, the hidden agenda. But my therapist just raised her eyebrows and said, "Sometimes people do grow. The question is, what do you want to do with this information?" What did I want to do? Part of me wanted to keep that wall up to protect myself from being hurt again. Another part missed having a mom, even a flawed one. I still haven't decided. The text sits in my phone unanswered. Maybe someday I'll be ready to respond, maybe not. What I do know is that I'm no longer defining myself as someone's daughter, someone's sister, someone's ATM. I'm just me, traveling the world, building a life I love, healing at my own pace. And if there's one thing I've learned from all this, it's that sometimes the family you're born into isn't the family you need. Sometimes you have to create that family for yourself piece by piece, friend by friend, experience by experience. So here I am in Barcelona, watching the sunset paint the city gold, sipping sangria, and feeling, for maybe the first time in my life, completely at peace with being alone. Because alone doesn't have to mean lonely. Sometimes it just means free. And free is exactly what I am.